Behind me, 2008 Mini Cooper S, we're gonna be replacing the front brake pads and rotors. So let's get started. First thing we wanna do is jack the vehicle up, put it on jack stands, and we'll take our front tire off. If you have a hubcap, we'll take a flat bladed screwdriver, pop in between the hubcap and the rim, and we'll just pull away. You might have to do it in a couple of different spots. There we go. Once our tire is off, first thing we'll do is remove our rotor retainer. That is a T50 Torx, and I like using an impact driver. Sometimes these can be on there pretty tight. If they haven't been off in a while, sometimes they can seize. Just give it a good whack. That one wasn't too bad. We can leave it on as long as we know that we can get it off. That's good enough for now. So now let's turn our steering wheel. That'll give us access to all our back bolts. Before we remove our caliper, we'll take a flat bladed screwdriver and stick it in between the caliper and the rotor, and we'll pull towards us. And that's gonna suck in that caliper piston. It'll get it most of the way, if not all the way. Keep going, there we go, bottomed out. That'll help us out with our new pads. If needed, we can squish it in a little more with a caliper piston tool, but I find a lot of times this is good enough. To get our brake center out, we have this little retainer up here for the harness, and that's our brake bleeder. So they're kind of a combination there. And that gets our wire free. And then with a pair of pliers, you don't want to pinch too hard, but a little pinch to grab onto it. We're just gonna pull out. They seem to be a little stuck, but that's the method. You can get just a little screwdriver in there. You don't want to pop too hard. There we go. Just a little wiggle and got it. And it comes right off, just like that. It's slotted, and there's a little clip. Looks like the clip got left behind. Pop that out, because we want it, that clip is our retainer. There we go. Just this little clip here, we can just put that back on. There, and that's what locks it in place. But that's it, it's easy as that, and then we just set it aside, get it out of the way. Everything else is the same as the passenger side that I'm showing you on. 13 millimeter gets our caliper off. And if this spins on you, just take a pair of pliers and we can hold it. We'll take a caliper hanger, and just put it through here, and we'll suspend it on our strut spring, just so it's out of the way. Now this is just me, but while the bracket is still on, I like removing our brake pads and re-greasing our caliper pins. We just pop these out just like that. We'll wipe them off real good, and we'll put on new caliper grease. It's important that this is a silicone-based grease, not a petroleum-based grease. But if you get a grease just for calipers, you'll be just fine. Slide it back in. I like to twist it while it goes in. That's it. We'll do the bottom. Apply a little grease. Slide it in, twist, perfect. Now if your brake pads came with new hardware, we can go ahead and pop these off and replace with new hardware. For some reason, my brakes did not come with new hardware. That's okay, these are stainless steel and can be reusable. Just depends on the climate that you live in. So in that case, we'll just clean them all up really good for our new pads. We can pull off our bracket, 16 millimeter in the back. There we go, we set this aside. Now we can finish taking off our rotor. Just back this out. Looks like mine's just coming off right away. Nice and easy. If you need, you can tap on it with a hammer. That vibration will break it loose. We want to clean up our hub. I like using a drill and a wire brush. If there's any raised bumps or any rust protruding, you want to take a flat bladed screwdriver and just break that off. A lot of times it's just rust from the rotor that sticks to the hub. There we go. Then we'll take our new rotor and some brake clean. We want to clean it off really well. There's a protective coating on it from the factory. Just get that coating off. Clean rag to wipe it. Perfect. Now let's put it on. Take a little bit of anti-seize and put it on our retaining bolt. Just kind of rub that around on the threads. Wipe our fingers off so we don't get any anti-seize on our rotor face. And then we'll put this on. Line up where the retainer goes. There we go. And we'll just snug that down. It doesn't have to be crazy tight. It's just holding it on for assembly. We already did our bracket stuff. We'll just put that on. Our bolts through. Snug them down. And the information I have says these are 81 foot-pounds. Now we can throw our brake pads on. There's a tall notch and a short notch. That tall notch goes towards the inside. On the driver's side, that tall notch is for our brake wear indicator. We'll slide these on. There we go. Put this one in kind of at an angle. Perfect. And then our caliper should be good enough. Yep, all ready to go. Throw our bolts on. Just use a pair of pliers to prevent it from spinning. Perfect. Perfect. Now these are torqued between 23 and 28 foot-pounds. So I have mine set to 25, right in the middle. Oh, that's gonna spin on me, no big deal. Just use the pliers again. That is it. Of course, the other side does have that little brake sensor, so we'll put that in. And I like to pump the brakes before I do the other side. So I only do one at a time, pump it. That way I don't forget before I take it on a test drive. All right, that is it. Now we want to take it on a test drive to break in or burnish our new brakes. What we want to do is take the vehicle up to about 30, 35 miles an hour and come to a nice, good stop. And we don't want to lock up the brakes, but we do want to feel it. We want to feel a nice, good stop. And then we'll let off the brakes, bring it back up to 30, 35 miles an hour and do the same thing. Come to a nice, good stop. We want to do that about 4 or 5 times, and that should be good enough. If you have any questions, comment, post down below. We'll have the parts and tools in the description. If you need to do your rear brakes, click on this, and we'll change those together. I'll see you on the next one.